Hi, ever wonder what it's like to work another profession or live in the underworld? Listen to unsuspecting riders give a 10 to 15 minute personal masterclass as I spontaneously interview them as they enter my taxi. I'm your host, Simon Rushton, and this is Taxi Chronicles. Morning. Yes, we're back with another episode, another pair of riders, a lovely couple here. One's all the way from Holland, the other's from somewhere in London. And Umi and Ola, and Ollie, so is it Ollie? Yeah, okay. And they're going to talk, we're just going to have a general chit chat. One's a teacher and one's in the bar business, and we were talking about what wouldn't you do for 15 million. So those avid listeners who are listened to us before, you know some of the responses we could and could not get. So here, nice to meet you today.
Yeah, nice to be here. Wasn't expecting the interview format, but very happy to be here.
Okay, before we jump into it, a quick question: what kind of person or people were you when you were at school?
We're talking secondary school age.
Any school?
Oh, you got an interesting one. Yeah, I think both of us for different reasons, but yeah, I think that you've got two good examples of the fact that what you are in your teenage years doesn't necessarily dictate the young adult you're going to become. But at the same time, very different experiences at that age as well. Hers, I would say, is more interesting than mine. But for me, little arsehole. That's a little South London arsehole is the best way to explain it. Bit cocky, bit conceited, kind of used to drifting through on luck. Don't apply yourself and you'll get there eventually. And at some point, life gives you a friendly little nudge on the elbow and it says, bruv, that's not quite going to work for you. You need to do a little bit more, otherwise you just end up drifting through. So for me, school was a time to kind of just exercise, getting all that angst out, fun and angst, and then forgetting the fact that adults have to deal with your shit on an everyday basis. Your schooling was a lot more interesting than mine, actually.
Well, I wouldn't know about more interesting, but I would...
For a teacher?
Yeah. Let's just say that when I started my teaching degree, my mum almost fell off her chair because she didn't think that I would ever step back into a school ever again. Why? Oh, because I was I've been in 5 secondary schools. I've been kicked out of one after the other, and
why are you being kicked out?
Oh, because I was not I don't know. I think how.
You know.
Yeah, I know because I was such a I don't know the English word, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say. I was just a little bitch. I was so mean to teachers. I was absolutely mean, but.
You say mean to teachers. The teacher's teaching you, so how can you be mean?
You had your own stuff going on at the time.
Yeah, of course.
Taken into school with it.
Yeah. I had a lot going on in my personal life. So in school, I was trying to be the funny kid, trying to set the whole class against the teacher, trying to be the funny one, and I was indeed the funny one, but I was also the only one who got kicked out. So that's kind of that's kind of how that turns out for you.
And when did you realise that you wanted to change? You realise that what you're doing is not probably beneficial to yourself.
That was quite late, because after that I went to college, just to vocational school. I was quite smart in school, but when you get kicked out every 6 months, then there's not really much going on for you. But I think that when I did 5 years over for a 3-year college degree, like I kept quitting, coming back in, then quitting, asking if I could come back, like I was just doing nothing. And then finally, I don't know, I just remember taking a gap year, working a stupid call center job for a year, and then I just realized, okay, if I'm not going to take my school serious, this is my life. I'm going to be in a call center till I am 65, earning shit wage. So yeah, that's when I realized that I had to change.
Okay. So when did why did the decision come about that you want to be a teacher?
Well, I think that for me it was a lot of factors, but it may sound stupid, but I just did a lot of how do you call it, those tests to figure out what you're good at, what your skills.
Test
Yeah. I did so many of those, and then I actually found out, okay, working in an office is not for me. Working in care is not for me. Like so many things, and only like I liked working with children or with young people. I liked social studies in general. So whether that whether that would be geography or social studies or history, like I just like working with kids, and I also like having a lot of holidays and stuff like that. So it's just a nice job that has a lot of benefits and gives me a lot of autonomy. So I like being around students, working with them a lot more than being with a lot of adults constantly.
And you must see yourself in some of the students.
I would say that I have not been in contact with a student that was of the same level of me, but I have actually, when I finally realized that when I started my teaching degree, doing my internships and stuff, like I have actually like reached out to my former school and apologized and made sure that wouldn't haunt me in my work now, and just try to put out
your apology.
Yeah, they were so happy about because that's the thing. As a kid, you think, oh, they're all against me, or they hate me, the teachers hate me. But even now, when you have kids that do act out, and when they finally come around, all you do is applaud them. Because it's just kids. It's nothing intentional. You don't know what's going on in their lives.
Ways of expressing yourself as well is limited. Things like that.
Yeah, because you don't have the smarts yet to be... to be good in expressing yourself, indeed.
So, I'll go into how did you two meet? I know we spoke about it briefly. I think the listeners will be intrigued in this. So, where did you two? Because you seem like a couple really gelled well together. I see a lot of couples in the car, and your body language, the way you talk, is that there's a rhythm. There's a melody.
Oh, that's so nice, bro.
Do you know what we did the story of meeting a lot more in the early days of being together. We've been together more than a year now, so we haven't done it in a while. But so obviously, like we said, international relationship, met on Tinder early in the lockdown. So obviously, everyone's sitting there with time on their hands. As I said, I work in the bar industry, so I had plenty of time off, just getting told stay at home and we'll put something in your bank account. So I was being paid to socialise, really. It was a nice little deal. She was on, you were on holiday from school, working from home, because stuff was closed up out there. The schools had just closed,
And
from that point, we matched, we started talking. I've obviously been to the Netherlands before, she's been to London once before, it's not far to go. I was sitting there with a lot of time in my hands. So for the first couple months, actually, obviously everything was Corona this, Corona that, no travel.
Oh no, but that's not really how it went. Like I think after, because if you go into the real story,
okay, so apparently I didn't have the real story. I thought I was there as well.
Do you remember, like after a week or after a few days, like I just told you, like, okay, I booked a ticket, I'm coming to London.
Shit, yeah, okay,
But then it was like mid-lockdown. Everything got cancelled that we booked. It was so frustrating because I think we really, at least for me, after not even a week, like I knew, okay, this is my person. That was so strong that we really had to be together. And then at the beginning, I was still living with my mum.
Yeah, so instead of it being after a week or two meet up, it was like a 2-month long distance, just talking, getting to know each other and all of that. All the while, like, doing all the front room exercises you can do to get in shape for that inevitable first meeting. You know, you got the one dumbbell set and a yoga mat, and you're doing all you can, looking in the mirror like, hey, man, there's 5 packs there today, there was only 4 yesterday, she's going to be impressed. So, let me not say I didn't do my part, I was there
and
doing
it's
the
safe
sit-ups.
to say I was impressed. Like, I was not disappointed in the slightest.
No, I like that. You got nothing else better to do, so it's jailhouse routine.
Yeah. I'm talking like all you're eating is eggs and beef, a bit of pasta,
he would
bulk and
send me like fruit bowls, like actual fruit bowls with pasta,
Like,
that would be just lunch.
I just finished up however many month stretch of 6-7 day shifts in hospitality. I came out looking like do you remember Skeletor, that cartoon? Yeah, I came out looking like him. Like cheekbones could take someone's eye out. Like I was just skinny, looking unhealthy. I think I sent her a picture once. She was like, I was like, oh yeah, there's a nice picture of me in the sunshine. Send it to her. She was like, oh, that's not a recent picture, is it? You don't look well. Like you don't look happy in life itself. You don't look like you're succeeding. Like, you know, and you're sitting there like, all right, something has to change. And then
what the good thing is about you two's relationship is that you had 2 months where you didn't see each other and you just dialect.
Yeah.
So the dialect, I believe, says a lot. Because if you can keep up that dialect on a regular basis and you're both still interested when you meet it, 80% of the work is done for you already. You just have to get used to, this is the person I'm actually seeing.
Yeah.
It's true.
In that respect.
And also when you, it's a weird thing to say, but when you communicate with someone predominantly, especially at such an early period, but predominantly in a way like messaging, obviously we would FaceTime and all of that, but the majority is WhatsApp and messaging. Yeah. When you do something like that, like you've seen the person, you know you're attracted to them, but your instance of getting to know them in that period of time, obviously it's not like it's someone who you work with or work next door to and it's, you know, get distracted by the it's there, it's whatever, it's convenient, it's this. In fact, by definition, the whole thing's fucking inconvenient. She's a seat away from me, but you know, because you're actually investing that time into seeing if it's worth it, you're investing a stake from that early point and really investigating it before you make any moves, which I think most people in a typical relationship, whether you work next door or meet them or whatever, you don't have a long waiting period. People are impatient in general. We wouldn't have waited if we didn't have to.
But we always said that was such a blessing in our relationship that we actually
blessing in disguise, because you weren't happy about it at the time.
No, but it was like we never got like normal relationship where you go on a date, then wait a week, then go on a date again, like getting to know each other that way. So
I'm from London, so I've never had that anyway.
Okay, well, sir.
Waiting a week.
Well, yeah, exactly. Watch yourself, friend. No, but then after, so basically when we came to actually meeting each other, it was quite funny because I was still living with my mum, but then I came on the rare opportunity to get a new flat.
What, in Holland?
In Holland, yeah. So then we had actually already planned that you were coming out here. It was June, I think.
Yeah, early June.
Early June, you were coming to see me. We had planned, it would be an Airbnb or something. We would just figure it out, and then I had a flat. So then I got the keys to the flat on Monday. On Tuesday, I went painted the whole lot. On Wednesday, I got all of my furniture in, and then on Thursday he was coming. Like it was so.
Yeah, you know when you get into the house, it's brand new. Like you did everything you could. But you know when it's like bin bags on the windows and the curtains and all of that, and you come in, it's like, is it a trap house? Is it, what's going on? Like what's the hustle here? I thought you was a geography teacher, but obviously no. Everything was ready for me when I got out there, and also the place that she lives, it's a little city outside of Amsterdam. But it is a city, so I come from South London, Croydon, which is obviously, everyone says London, we all know it's a little city on the outskirts of London. It's kind of got its own little vibe, but the place that she lives kind of has a very similar feel about it to the place I was just coming from as well. So it was a nice homey feeling out there. I've been to Amsterdam a few times before, but you know, it's just a tourist city. Being slightly outside it in an actual living district, not just the city centre, was a very comfy place to be. So did some time out there, a few days here, a few days there. She did a few days over in England, a few days here and there, and we were just going back and forth for a while until the
during lockdown. I don't think we are allowed to say that.
We travelled with the full knowledge and support of the UK government, and all forms were filled out in duplicate accurately, and we have those records in case you care to.
So relationship wise, how's it going to work? Are you going to move to Amsterdam? Are you going to move to England?
Yeah, so
what do you have already?
Yeah, so on this last visit, she's the organised one. If it was down to me, Brexit would have snuck up and hit us and disappeared before I had popped up and said, what was that? Like, who's that? We didn't think about Brexit at all. We actually went to one of her friends' birthdays, and one of her friends, like, you know how the Dutch are super practical, one of her friends was trying to be friendly but just put I was like, what are you guys doing about it? I was like, oh, it's fine, innit? He was like, no, it's fucking serious, good luck to you lot. And after that she got a bit paranoid, went back, looked it all up, and realised this was a while ago, but in November we had a month lockdown, and then from halfway through December we had the last 4 months or whatever. So when I went over in November, she did all the paperwork for my citizenship.
It's not residence permit.
Yeah, residence permit, which is basically a 5-year staying permission. So we got that sorted out. I think if we had done it just after it turned to 2021, it would have been a lot more of a challenge, but luckily we got it done before, with me being out there.
That second lockdown again was such a blessing for us, because I remember being on the phone, like, sometimes crying, like, how are we going to do this? Because he had to come there to get his residence permit. I couldn't do it for him. But because he was working, there was no possibility to do that. It had to quarantine, so it was very difficult. And then that lockdown came, and everything just worked out fine. I think we have very much a relationship where
luck has kind of been on our side.
Yeah. We have so many blessings. Like in the same time, we had an opportunity to move to a bigger flat. So we did that together. So now it's also, like, first he moved in with me, but now we moved in together to that bigger flat, and now it's just a few months before we will be out there.
Yeah, so we've been in the bigger flat now together for the last 4 months of lockdown. Yeah. I've come back to England because obviously my industry is opening up again. But I think anyone that works in the hospitality industry and listens to this also knows the industry is damaged for the foreseeable future. So I'm going back to work, save a little bit of money, and then I will be quitting, moving out there, and seeking work out in a new country with my residency permit.
Or are you going to trade change?
Well, while lockdown has kind of kicked in, obviously I think everyone's kind of picked up on the concept of a main job's a main job, and we all need a side hustle. So for me, my main job is managing a bar, cocktail menus, all of that, and outside of that I'm kind of been setting up and got a couple bookings for an events company. So teaching cocktails, hiring people, hiring me, going to their garden party, whatever, making their cocktails, teaching them how to do it. Got a couple nice bookings for that for summer, so I'm going to really try and push that for now, because obviously I think there's going to be a big market in people wanting good drinks at home. And then kind of once I'm done with that, once it comes to September and the summer's gone, it's like Wyclef Joe, and I'll be gone to November, and then coming back and sorted. I think I'll be going into a different industry because like I said, there doesn't really matter. I think hospitality is one of the worst affected areas of it.
I'll just tell you, I interviewed a couple of people, and especially in East London, what a lot of the people who have bars are doing these homemade cocktails.
Yeah.
And to order. So they're bottling, I don't know about cocktails.
They're doing the premixing.
And they're just sending them out to people. And like, they've got a list. They managed to get all their emails of their customers who used to come to their bars and things like that. And they're doing very well. And he said, we're doing so well, I'm actually shutting down one of the bars permanently. And I'm
considering keeping that as an alley of...
So what I'd suggest is that, but also, you got your own YouTube channel? Or
no, so literally this whole independent thing and actually doing something outside of my work has really only come up through the basis of a very similar situation. So because I've worked at places for a long time and been there and kind of worked my way up, the customers and regular customers know me. So this actually just came up because some customers contacted me via my personal number and just said, like, we really, like, every time we come in, we're really enjoying it, let's do that. So yeah, my first step was to go into the events because that's just what they specifically asked for, and I had myself set up for that in terms of equipment and stuff. But the premixing market, you're very right, that is definitely something that is super big right now, especially looking at the two factors in hospitality, which is Brexit, losing an amount of workers in that industry, which is a significant amount, but also the fact that there's going to be a massive wave of people wanting to go out and drink. To have a top quality or good quality drink that doesn't require skill behind the bar to be able to mix and serve, that's going to be a whole big industry for the next little bit while the industry finds its feet again.
Yeah, so if I was you, whatever name you're going to have, save, even if you're not ready to start doing the content, save it across all social media platforms.
And get it there and spoken for.
TikTok, all of those ones. And then you can start, when you do the posts, I'm sure your wife, your partner, she's organised.
Oh, super, yeah. she, for both of us, yeah.
You got a good thing.
I'm actually not. He just is not at all. So
Yeah.
I love you.
I reckon you're focused when you want it, when you want something. You wanted him.
Yeah.
Let's
What's your passport number? Yeah, all of that. She's focused when she wants to be, yeah.
No, but actually, like I know I am biased, but he is actually a proper bartender. Like, if you see what he can do with mixing flavors, with his creativity in putting together a menu, I am so impressed by that, and I do like my fair share of cocktails. So
she'll say that because we're both, as well as drinks, we're both very, very into food. Whether we're in Amsterdam or in London, we're always getting new food and stuff.
Yeah.
So she's probably the best cook among us, and she's very good with flavours like that. So a lot of the time, my customers would drink a drink, they'll be like, oh, this is nice, but they can't tell you what they're actually tasting. She appreciates all of those flavours. So that's why I think that she's got such a positive opinion of them.
No, you're just good. Just accept that.
Well,
Okay. So tell me, what have you two learned that you wish you knew when you started about your whole life experience, whether it's career, education, in general?
The concept for me, just because that's something that with the recent lockdown situation and getting a feeling of, we all had that feeling of stagnation, a lack of progress, whether you're going to work or whether you're not going to work. Things around you aren't changing, so you lose that illusion of moving forward, even if it is just an illusion and not real in the moment. For me, the main thing that weighs into that, because you know how hospitality is, you'll do 6-day weeks, 7-day weeks, you never get good management, good organization, anything like that, and you end up trapped in those types of positions. I'm 25 now, 26 this year, and I've been doing this on and off since I was 18, pretty solidly on, to be honest, while I was at uni and afterwards as well. So that feeling of being too late to the party, or feeling like, I'm stuck in this for now, I owe it to myself to just keep going, and then I'll get to a point when I can do... No, realistically, like, provided you've got a couple paychecks in your pocket, you can sort yourself out, your rent's okay for the month, you can take that time out, look for another job, whatever. But I think that whether you want to put it down to social media or whatever, people these days are very comparatively minded. You're always looking at, oh, they got that bag, oh, they got those shoes, oh, you're doing this, oh, you got paid that much, and you're always looking to not fall behind to that, and sometimes at detriment to yourself. You're not actually doing the best thing for yourself, you're just doing the best thing to keep yourself in the same conversation as other people. And that's something that it really took... I've never had significant time off work in my working life until lockdown and the industry shut down, and it really took me until then to sit and process it and really look and say, actually, I can get out of this whenever I want, I can really do my thing, I can hit some savings, even if it's not a solid job that you're going on LinkedIn and clicking to apply to, like we've just been talking about. There's so many people doing entrepreneurial things, and there's so many other paths. It doesn't even take the courage, it just takes accepting the fact that you're not getting the satisfaction from what you're doing and doing right by yourself. It's not a big decision to make. You know yourself better than anyone else. It's just doing what's right for you. I think that's probably my main takeout from this, and something I wish I had been more aware of at 18, instead of really drifting along a path that you feel like you're just destined to drift on.
Yeah.
And yourself, lovely lady?
I think I could kind of relate, where I was 21 or 22 and I started uni, and I was in a class with people who were 16, 17-year-olds. So, yeah, indeed, what you're saying, being a bit late to the party, but just that you're okay to take your own time, and your progress is your own progress, and you'll catch up. It's okay. So, why I said I was so late to the party with uni. Didn't have any support from my parents whatsoever, but look, like here we are now, having a flat together, starting a life together, having a solid job. Stuff like that just works itself out when you are just determined to doing it, and doesn't matter how long it takes.
And also just not looking for it. I think whether it's a job, relationship, it's the same mentality. When you sit there stressing like, oh, I'm trying to find this, I'm looking for this, what you end up settling for, or the first thing that comes across that you're like, all right, cool, is never the one. But when you actually have time on your hands, and like you said, you can have that patience in the early step of whether it's choosing a relationship, choosing a job, choosing whatever, when you have that patience for it and you're not actively hunting for it, but something right comes across your path,
Yeah.
but you've done right by yourself up until that moment, then you are poised to grab it when the opportunity presents itself. And I think that is,
And that's obviously also a little bit of a luxury.
Yeah,
Right now, that you have the time to think, because indeed before lockdown you need to get a paycheck, like the rent's not going to pay itself, so
yeah, for sure.
yeah, it's a bit of both.
Yeah.
Okay. And the last question is, what's the impact you two want to have on the world?
Okay, so I think with my job, specifically with my job, because I used to always think, oh, do I want to be a social worker? Do I want to be something that impacts people's lives? But that really made me think, okay, I don't want to be the person in someone's life to make decisions about their life or about what they're allowed to do or not allowed to do. And as a teacher, I really get to just have those little informal contact moments with students, and to just be there, consistently be there, have a laugh, have a joke. And I think that if I get one student who will be like, oh yeah, I remember Miss Umaima when she would always have a laugh with us, or she really taught me well. Like, I think that little micro impact is something that I hope to get. Yeah.
Especially spread over.
Yeah, just spread over the years, where you can just make little impacts on people's life. I think it's too much to say that, oh, as a teacher you have such a big part in someone's life, because you don't. You're just a small part that comes along, but it's nice to be a part that comes along that also makes it comfortable and warm and a good environment.
Yeah, especially if you live in the same town that you work
Yeah,
in. So you see those old students, you see the ones that you taught.
We cannot go out together. Whenever we go out, it's always, oh hi miss, oh you, how you doing, miss? Like everywhere we run into students, and that's like, yeah, that's very nice.
Yeah, it's already a small form of what you're talking about. Just a few years down the line, once there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yourself?
Myself, that's difficult. So as I said, I work in the bar industry. There's not much impact you're gonna have on the world in doing that. I'm a literature graduate though. That was what I studied. That's what I do in my free time. I enjoy reading, I enjoy writing, I enjoy coming up with concepts. For me, the impact I would love to have on the world. See, if I was answering that and putting a ceiling on it, I would just say I would love to write a script and get that out there somewhere and get it produced, something like that. But if we're talking about a purely ideal sense, an impact you would love to have, obviously being somewhat literary minded, like in books, I would love to obviously at one point be the creator of something that is not necessarily a significant work for the world. I think that's a massive task to achieve, but something which presents in itself a paradigm shift, a change in fundamental understanding. Someone can walk in, pick up that book, they might not think of something skeptically, they might not look at the world in a certain way, but once they resonate with the ideas that you present them, once they kind of absorb that, to be able to change an opinion or to impose an opinion on somebody and spread an awareness of something in whatever form, whether it's a book, whether you're doing charity work, whether you're doing whatever. I think that's an amazing skill to have, to be able to make someone aware of something and inspire passion towards it. I think that would be the top point for me, for my passion to inspire someone else's, which I guess is a similar vein to what you're talking about.
I already wanted to say you should be a teacher.
That was my next statement. I get the feeling that you two, I can see both as teachers, whether in acting, whether in your literature, English thing. You planning to learn Dutch?
I would say I'm in the process now, but it's such an early stage of the process, I won't quite say that. But yes, I'm planning to learn it properly. It's it's not a language like any I have experience with, so it's a little difficult.
I think it's also important to, like, when you move out to a different country, it's not just, learning the language, get a job. It's also, you have no social structure around you except for your partner. So I think what's very important about starting like a language course or something is that you can be able to do that in a physical context. So there's enough to do online, but actually meeting people that are also in the same boat as you, trying to learn a new language, that could also get you a bigger social circle. So it's very important to, whenever you do that you put yourself out there and experience all aspects of a country.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, it's been a great interview.
That's been amazing.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for having us. Yeah, I know.
And we wish you well. We hope you liked that interview. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to get the latest daily episode. Ever considered investing in the continent with the fastest growing economy and population on Earth? The same continent that holds 30% of the world's known natural resources? Then listen to our sister podcast, Africa Investor Stories, where you will hear real investors with real stories from around the world share their experience of investing in Africa. We post Monday and Thursday at 10 a.m.